Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm creating another art journal spread in the Dina Wakley Media Journal, and I'm working on the watercolor pages, and the page I'm using here is primed with the transparent aqua ground from Schmincke. And here you see me stamping with VersaMark ink, and I am going to emboss this background stamp in white. Unfortunately, my camera stopped because of a full storage, and I have already added some gelatos to my page. I used the bubblegum pink, and I have no idea which color the yellow is. It's not so important. I just scribbled it to the page, and then I'm spritzing it with water and I'm blending it in with a brush. If you don't know what gelatos are, they are water-soluble crayons. They are similar to the distress crayons, and you can also use any other water-soluble crayon you have and do the same technique with it. The embossing I've added in the beginning acts as a resist against the colors. I want to let the color drip a little, so I'm using a piece of tissue and lay it onto my desk, and then I spritz more water onto my page. I lost a lot of the pink, so I add more of it. Before I keep on working on the background, I want to dry that, as I want to go in with a little bit of blue to create kind of a rainbow background. I don't want to mess everything up by mixing all these colors together, so it's always better to have a dry first layer with the warm colors before you go in with the cool colors. I'm using the snow cone blue, and I just add in a little bit. I'm blending the blue just with my fingers, and I just dip my finger into my water, and then you can blend it easily, or you just wet it with a baby wipe. When the background is completely dry, I go in with a little bit of stamping, and here I'm using a vintage script stamp, and I just use a pink ink from StazOn. As the background is so colorful, I prefer not to use black ink. I would have stopped stamping here, but I accidentally lost my stamp and it messed up my page, so I just stamped a bit more. I'm adding just a little bit more stamping to create more interest on the background. This time I'm using the teal blue from StazOn with that artsy spiral stamp, and I will use the same color together with the grungy circles and stamp them also randomly to the background. As always, you will find a link to my blog post where you can see some close-up images of today's project. For my main images, I want to use some butterflies, and I'm picking our butterfly trio stamp set, which contains 3 different sizes of the same butterfly. And I picked out a jelly print to stamp them. And you see, I've already stamped the big one, but I think the background is much too busy for these detailed lines of the butterfly, so I just stamp it twice in an area where it's not so much texture. I stamp them in different areas of the paper to have different shades of color. So I have a lighter yellow and orange and a more red pinkish butterfly. I'm using black StazOn ink. I cut out the butterflies and I cut them directly on the black outline, and I also cut off their antennas. And for that reason, I'm stamping them also directly to my page. So I have their antennas back and I can glue them on top. And this is the reason why I normally don't use Easy Mount anymore for my stamps, because with the time it gets dirty and it will not stick to your acrylic blocks and you can't get it off your stamp. So I normally don't use it anymore. Instead of that, I just use a glue stick, and also our stamps have a really smooth backside, and when you wet them a little bit with a baby wipe and also your clear block, they will stick on their own. The only time when I'm using the Easy Mount is for background stamps to make them more stable, as they are really big, and also for border stamps. I'm using a glue stick to stick the butterflies down. I wanted to have something like a sentiment on my page, and I just pick the word fly from our A Little Birdie stamp set, and I stamp it not only once because I think it was so lost on this page, but I stamp it just a few times in 2 clusters, and then I will color some words in with the Pitt artist pen. Pitt artist pens are perfect for art journaling because they work on every surface and they contain India ink, which means they are permanent when they are dry. And that's also good. You have a bit of time until they are dry, and so you can use them also for creating shadows and blend them with your fingers. And this was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope we see us next time. Bye!